Once upon a time in a small, quiet town named Elmdale, lived a man named Harold, a car mechanic with a penchant for quirky sayings and a rather philosophical bent. His favorite saying, which he'd proudly display on a wooden sign above the counter of his quaint auto repair shop, was a twist on a classic: "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a broken fan belt and a flat tire." People who visited his workshop would often chuckle at the saying, contemplating its deeper meaning while Harold worked his magic on their ailing vehicles. Harold's life was simple but fulfilling. He had a loving wife named Sarah, who was a school teacher, and 2 kids, Tim and Lucy. The family lived in a cozy house at the edge of town, surrounded by towering elm trees that gave Elmdale its name. Life was routine, filled with the everyday joys and challenges that make up the fabric of ordinary existence, until one summer day when fate decided to put Harold's quirky saying to the test. It began like any other day. Harold opened his shop, brewed a cup of strong coffee, and waited for customers to come in with their car troubles. By mid-morning, a young man named Jack walked in, his face flushed and anxious. He explained that he was setting off on a long journey, a 1,000-mile trek to propose to his longtime girlfriend in another state. He wanted to make sure his car was in tip-top shape for the important journey. Harold nodded and got to work, feeling a sense of purpose. Here was a journey that truly mattered, one laden with love, hope, and future possibilities. But as he inspected the car, Harold found exactly what his sign predicted: a broken fan belt and a flat tire. He looked up at Jack, chuckling as he pointed to the sign above the counter. "Seems like this old saying has come to life," Harold said, tapping the sign. Jack laughed nervously, relieved that if this had to happen, it did so before he was miles away from any help. Harold fixed the car efficiently, but as he worked, he couldn't shake off a strange feeling, a sense of impending adventure, as if the universe was nudging him towards something extraordinary. He shook off the thought and sent Jack on his way, wishing him luck on his 1,000-mile journey and his marriage proposal. Days turned into weeks, and life resumed its predictable pace. But the feeling that something extraordinary lay ahead persisted. It was then that Harold received a phone call that would change his life forever. The call was from an attorney, informing him that he had inherited a piece of land 1,000 miles away, from an estranged uncle he barely remembered. Stunned, Harold shared the news with Sarah, Tim, and Lucy. After a family discussion, they all decided to take a road trip to see this mysterious inheritance. The journey itself was laden with hurdles, roadblocks, inclement weather, and yes, even a flat tire and a fan belt issue. But with each obstacle, Harold's saying resonated louder, turning into a family mantra that fueled their determination to carry on. When they finally reached their destination, what awaited them was beyond their wildest imagination: a sprawling farm with a run-down but charming farmhouse, set against the backdrop of rolling hills and a sparkling lake. As they explored the property, they discovered an old journal belonging to Harold's uncle, filled with profound wisdom and amusing anecdotes. Most astonishing was the final entry, where his uncle had written a variation of the original saying: "The journey of 1,000 miles ends where the heart finds its home." It was as if he knew that one day, Harold and his family would undertake this journey, and in doing so, discover a new home, a new purpose, and a new chapter in their lives. Emboldened by the experience and the inexplicable alignment of fate, Harold decided to turn the property into a retreat center where people could take a break from their hectic lives and ponder the profound and the whimsical, much like he had done all his life. And so, the family moved, and their lives transformed in ways they had never anticipated. Harold's auto repair shop turned into a sanctuary of wisdom, where people didn't just come to fix their cars but also to mend their souls. The saying that once hung in a small workshop in Elmdale now adorned the entrance of a retreat that drew people from miles away, reminding them that journeys, especially the long and uncertain ones, may begin with broken fan belts and flat tires but could lead to places where the heart finds its true home. And they all lived happily, understanding that life is nothing but a journey filled with unpredictable turns, and that wisdom often comes wrapped in humor and hardship. But most importantly, they lived knowing that the most significant journeys are those that bring you closer to understanding the essence of life and love, that the true journey of 1,000 miles begins and ends in the heart. The end.